What a day, what a day, what a day it is. Orange and blue today. Cecil, Amy, Andrew Mason. We're chatting a little bit. We had a longer day at Broncos Park powered by Common Spirit than we thought, but it was worth it because we had to hear from Zack Allen today, Mase. What a new story to wake up to, huh?
Yeah, and I literally did wake up to this because I look on my phone and I see Zack Allen. $102 million over 4 years if he plays out the length of the contract. $69.5 million.
Nice.
So, yeah, you said it. I didn't know if I could say it because the 0.5 was on there, right? So, is it nice when you have the 0.5? But, hey, it's nice regardless. Zack Allen securing the bag. This is 2 big contracts for the Broncos in a week. $110.5 million in guaranteed money doled out by the Walton Penner Group to a couple of players. Getting it done, man.
Wow.
Getting it done.
And Nik Bonitto will be up next. We'll get to that a little bit later, but it's the trust. I think, do you want to start with family or you want to start with trust? Because listen to Zack, brother, it got me fired up about this team, the construction, Greg Penner, the Walton Penner Group, but just really the family, the trust, the sense of togetherness that this team has. And we saw Zack Allen when Cortland Sutton got paid. Did Allen do the fire emoji or like a thumbs up emoji on Twitter of the Sutton news? And you see that kind of togetherness. Zack talked about it today, about how him and Court like going through the same thing, man.
Yep.
It's just really cool to see because of the price tag's huge. But as Sean Payton said, I mean, what are you looking for? If that's not what you're going to pay and keep around, what are you looking for? Because Zack Allen, he's exactly the type of defensive tackle, all pro level that you want.
Yeah. I mean, second team all pro, but he probably should have been first team last year. When you have 40 quarterback hits, you lead the league in quarterback hits. By the way, if you add up the last 2 seasons combined, he leads the league in quarterback hits over the last 2 years. 64 over the last 2 years. So he's getting there, knocking the quarterback off his spot more than anybody in the league. He's disruptive, a force. We saw it again today. I mean, I think it was appropriate that on the day he signs his contract, he was the best player on the field.
Mm-hmm.
He was a monster out there today.
Yeah. Once again, defense dominating. There were some offense, mostly second and third team that were able to move the ball. But Zack Allen, I mean, he just shows up, lunch pail guy. And you didn't hear a thing. Payton talked about that too. It's like there wasn't any distraction from Court. Some tried to make it a distraction, but damn it, it was never a distraction. And then this Zack Allen thing, if you were to not know he had a contract thing, you would have never been able to guess by his participation and his willingness to stick his nose in there every day this summer.
Yeah, he summer and spring didn't miss a day that we saw out there. Just went about his work, was effective, was his usual self. Just came to work, did his job, let his agent Tom Condon handle the particulars, and business was taken care of. Smooth. No negotiating through the media or anything like that. Just all taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how things used to be around here and how they are now.
Anyone want a car deal?
It's not about winning that's the thing. It's not about winning the deal anymore. It's about getting it done. It's about a fair deal for both sides. I mean, you could even say maybe the Broncos got a little bit of a bargain, dare I say a great value, because here you have a guy who's leading the league in quarterback hits over the last 2 years. It would have been fair for Zack Allen to say, hey, maybe I should be the highest paid interior defensive lineman in football. And he's third highest in APY, third highest in guarantee. I think that's a pretty fair deal. He could have pushed to be number one. Now he is going into his third contract, and the last year of this deal is going to be year 11 for him. So I think that comes into play as well. So I think it ends up being kind of a fair deal for both sides. Now, maybe if there is a decline for Zack Allen as you get into year 10, perhaps you say, okay, maybe his 10th season and the third year of this contract, perhaps then you might say, okay, that's an overpay perhaps. But I think in that case, you start viewing it for the arc of his time here and say, okay, it ends up being fair value for the entirety of his career. And this is where doing right by a player comes into play as well. That Zack Allen has been an incredible bargain for the first 2 seasons of his career. So if there's a year, say 2028, where he gets, say, 18 quarterback hits instead of the 40 that he had this past year, and you say, okay, well, maybe we didn't get as much out of that cap number that we have for that year as we did in 2024, perhaps. You say, okay, step back. Let's look at the totality of his time here and say, okay, we got our fair value out of it over the length of the 2 contracts that he was here. And you did right by the player. And this is also how you end up getting a good reputation among agents and a good reputation among players as well, as opposed to the reputation that the Broncos did have for a while around the league.
Yeah, the reputation there, strong. Sean Payton, he's feeling him. He's feeling it because today it was 23 minutes. Everyone was timing. What's that, Sean Payton? But your question to Sean about the vision, he said, great question. The vision for Zack Allen. Mm-hmm. I mean, you and I have seen a lot of football, brother, and we don't know everything, whatever. But it's like, I didn't see this. I didn't see 40 quarterback hits from Zack Allen. You know what I mean? Like, this is a guy that's made progress, that's made steps, that's taken his fit with Vance Joseph and just taken it to the next level, like an insane level that really, outside of Allen, maybe VJ, did you have that vision for Zack Allen to be this good with the Broncos?
No. And remember, going into the 2023 off season, I mean, there was some question about, okay, do you re-sign Draymond Jones? Draymond Jones, until 2022, had been more productive than Zack Allen. Now, in 2022, their pass rush productivity was even. Zack Allen emerged very nicely that year. The question then became, was that Zack Allen taking the next step, or was it a product of J.J. Watt having a renaissance year right before he walked out the door into retirement and drawing the attention of opposing blocking schemes? So that was a fair question to ask heading into the process. And you just didn't know. And look, there's another thing that comes into play in free agency. With every free agent that hits the market, it's always like, okay, why didn't this team bring him back? I mean, we've talked about this with Talanoa Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw. Those players would not have been on the market if not for the recent injuries.
0% chance.
Yeah, if Dre Greenlaw does not tear his Achilles in Super Bowl 58, he's not a Denver Bronco. He's still a 49er. If Hufanga does not tear his ACL midway through the 2023 season, the 49ers at minimum give him the franchise tag this past year, if not sign him to an extension. They're here because they had injuries and the 49ers didn't want to have the further investment in them, especially when they had to make other choices like Brock Purdy. When you start having to make choices, then you say, okay, we're not going to roll the dice on this injury risk. Whereas with Hufanga, for example, if he doesn't have the injury, they start manipulating the cap to say we're gonna fit 10 pounds into the 5-pound bag. If you really want the player, you make it. You can make it work. There's enough you can do manipulation-wise on the cap to make it work. And I expect they would have done that. But they chose not to. Or the other thing is they would have perhaps tried to trade him rather than let him walk for nothing more than a compensatory pick potentially. And that's why, so I asked Sean Payton about how the progression of Zack Allen went compared to the initial vision. And his response is interesting, and it goes into a territory that I don't think anyone expected. But there's a lot of wisdom here about this. And basically, he alludes to this notion of that these guys are available for a reason. So let's listen to what Sean Payton said in response to my question about the vision for Zack Allen compared to what he ended up becoming.
It's a great question. There have been free agents that I've signed that you thought you were getting X. Demario Davis, we signed, I think, in the third week or fourth week of free agency from the Jets. Give us another linebacker. And then when he arrived and as he began to play and then became a captain, and then there was so much more that we couldn't have expected. And, you know, you're like, man. And then sometimes, you know, you sign someone and it's like, and I don't want to use the parallel, but my parents loved garage sailing. That was their deal. The one thing they enjoyed together. And I think I had 10 couches growing up, right? And so they come home with a new couch and you'd remove the old one and you were so excited. It was a sectional until you sat in the left corner and it wiggled. And then you realized why it was a free agent. And so you just have to really do your homework and spend a lot of time on it. And fortunately we did. And I would say relative to him, more than this is what we saw, we're excited to get, and then there was this much more. And that's great when that happens.
I'm never going to think of free agency the same way again. I'm going to think of these guys as couches.
Couches at garage sales.
Yes. It's a great analogy, though. Like the couch that has something wrong with it. There's a defect, like it wiggles, or, you know, one of the legs is too short. Like, again, there's a reason why it's available. There's a reason why Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga are on the market. I mean, let's say go back for the Broncos. Like, we all loved Julius Thomas when he was here, but they let him walk. And turned out there was a reason why. They felt like he'd gone as far as he was going to go with what he possessed. He had 2 great seasons here. Jacksonville signs him, and Jacksonville doesn't get more than he was here. You know, he doesn't progress as a blocker, as it turns out. I mean, that was it. They did not get great value, as it turned out. So, you know, that's sort of the caveat emptor, right? And now we go into Mike Brady territory. And it's again why, I mean, I don't mean to be negative or anything, but it is the one thing that does make you think, and it's why when you see Dre Greenlaw pull up on Thursday, and you get that reminder when you see that. You get the reminder of this, and now we have something to think about. So when you see him pull up after he missed time in the offseason, then now you think of the sofa with the wiggle.
Yep.
And it's the injury history going back the last couple of years. That's the wiggle on Dre Greenlaw. So hopefully you Hopefully you work past that. Now, now with Zack Allen, here's the thing. You think, okay, it's the wiggle, but the Broncos, they did their homework. And this is also where you tip the cap to Vance Joseph, because this is where VJ's evaluation comes in. And he works with Zack Allen for 4 years. And his assessment is the best of this guy is yet to come. He's seen the arc over 4 seasons. He sees the trajectory, and he sees, oh, he's not a product of J.J. Watt and the attention that this all-timer is getting. He can be terrific in his own right. And lo and behold, he was. By the way, think back to the 2023 season and the first half of the year. Remember when people were thinking Zack Allen was a little bit of a bust in free agency, and you and I were kind of saying, no, he's not.
Yeah. I do remember that.
Yes. You know, the thing, and I probably lean too much on the quarterback hit stat there, but it does mean something as a number. Zack Allen in that season, when it seemed like it was a little slow in coming, at least in the minds of some people, Zack Allen had a quarterback hit every game that year. And that, I remember looking at that and saying, okay, this is the piece of evidence that shows it's already there for him. Maybe it's not manifesting in something that's an explosion like we saw in 2024, but it shows that he is on the path, that this was a good signing. It was already there in 2023.
You just had to watch the film.
Yeah.
Because for me, Mase, it's disrupted dropbacks.
Yeah.
And a disrupted dropbacks includes sacks, it includes pressures, it includes just making you move off your spot.
Yeah.
And if you watch the film of Zack Allen early, you're like, whoa, he makes guys move.
Yeah.
He makes you got to move. And interior pressure makes quarterbacks mortal.
Well, ask Tom Brady about that in the 2015 AFC Championship game, because for all that Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware brought, the two guys who really discombobulated Brady and the Patriots that day were Malik Jackson and Derek Wolfe.
Yep.
Because they came from the interior and just look at the angles and look at the distance. If you've got quarterbacks who are getting the ball out fast, when you've got the interior defensive linemen who can do that, they're creating the most havoc because they're getting there faster. Mm-hmm. And that's Zack Allen's superpower, that he is in a position as that 3 tech to get there in a hurry. Incredible signing for the Broncos. And the thing is, he's thirsty for more. So I asked him about what he got from watching the film that of last year that he wants to apply to his game. And of course, he played coy. He's like, hey, I'm not going to reveal everything.
Right. He dropped a little bit at the end of this.
But he did. Like, he didn't want to reveal everything. But then as he got going, he sort of dropped some hints. So after saying he didn't want to reveal everything, here's Zack Allen expounding. This actually turned into a 1 minute plus response, which, Zack Allen doesn't normally talk like this, but then again, it's contract day. So here's Zack getting into that after I asked him about it.
I can't give you everything. I mean, we got to save something for week 1. But no, I mean, it was obviously, there's always little tweaks. Physically, there's always things you can get better at, in the gym. And right now, obviously experimenting with new things. This is the time of camp. JJ's been very vocal about this. You just got to try new stuff. If you don't try new stuff, and I know people around the league are now going to start game planning and watching my tape because, last year was, I kind of came with this new kind of stance, new little everything. So it's always trying to find ways to adapt. And, we always joke about, that kind of Kobe Bryant and Kanye West commercial where it's like, can you be the same beast but a different animal? But seriously, it's trying to find new ways to invent yourself. And that's why, I'm so appreciative of the guys here because they help me do that every day. And, it's always friendly competition, but also just the learning and the back and forth that comes with it. It's really exciting.
Well, how many times do we say it? If you're standing still, you're going in reverse in the NFL.
Yep, happens to everyone.
Yeah.
Got to grow.
Yeah. Grow or die.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're at the top, everybody's coming for you. They're either studying you to take you down or they're studying you to mimic you because it's a copycat league. So they're trying to become you or they're trying to topple you. And if they become you, that means everybody's going to figure you out because then you're cloned basically. Which means you gotta keep working. You gotta figure out new things. You gotta figure out new moves. And that's why, like he says, right now is the time to do it. And I love that mindset of saying, this is the moment to do that. And this is another thing I love about how the Broncos go about their practices and their games. And you see this on the offensive line as well. The culture on that side that Zach Strief has in that room is that they use OTAs and early part of training camp to also try new things. Okay, new techniques, new ideas. Okay, can we make this work, right? And if you make it work, great. And if not, you go back to the old thing. Okay? So what are we seeing right now? They're trying wide zone. Let's try something new. Let's see what happens if we add this to the menu and see how it works. If it succeeds, it's another thing on the plate. Again, now there is the risk of saying, okay, are you messing with success? Yes, potentially. But right now, you're trying it to see if you can add to it. If it works, great. If not, you get closer to week 1, you go back to what works. But this is August 2nd. You've got more than a month to the regular season. Now you fiddle around with things and you try new stuff. I would say that Zack Allen, the stuff he's trying, based on today, like I said, best player on the field today. I thought Bo Nix did well considering the duress he was under. Because he did have an early interception, but he also had a touchdown. He should have had a touchdown and moved the ball today, but Troy Franklin dropped it.
Yes.
Got open, down the seam in the end zone, off his hands.
It's how you design it, and Troy let him down. But man, the pressure was immense.
Yeah. I mean, Franklin actually was having a really good day until that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still put him as one of my second-year guys who had a good day, despite that. He did get open. It was sort of like Jaleel McLaughlin on Thursday in the one-on-ones.
Right.
Everything was great until the end. It doesn't change the fact that it was a great route. He got open and then just missed it at the end. But yeah, that's how close Bo Nix was to having a perfect end of the day. But it wasn't on him. So that's why I think I look at Bo Nix operating under the pressure that he was under from Zack Allen, from Nik Bonitto. And I say, I thought he had a good day considering what he was dealing with. And also considering he's not going to face many, if any, pressure looks like the ones he's seeing in practice. And this is another thing. If he can steady himself and step up in the pocket and make plays, especially toward the end of practice, like he did today, if he can stare down that defense and step up and rally the way he did at the end of practice after facing this kind of pressure, that tells me a lot too. So I look at this as a good day for Bo Nix and exactly the kind of practice you want to see. The defense pushed the offense and then the offense pushing back. It's just, it did not, if only the ball skipped off of Troy's hands. That's how close it was to the offense having that great end, despite the havoc that was being wreaked by the front five, and especially by Zack Allen, who was otherworldly today.
First Star Wars reference of the day. It's working.
Yeah.
It's working. Before we get into more notes on today's practice, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Today's episode of Orange and Blue Today is presented by Ramos Law, the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Ramos Law was founded by Dr. Joseph Ramos, an attorney and ER doctor, to provide exceptional care to those injured in accidents. With a unique understanding of both medicine and law, the Ramos Law team is built to fight for you every step of the way. Experience the Ramos Law difference. Contact them today at ramoslaw.com.
Okay, Mace, let's go over some other highlights. I thought Riley Moss had a good day today.
Great
that
day
play
today.
against Marvin Mims on the left sideline, where Mims is tough to cover, and Mims is running the full route tree. Mims is running really good routes, but with Moss there, no PI. It was to my side of the field. We had 2 different vantage points today. You're more social than I, Mace. I kind of like to be, you know how I am at practice. When I go to the Senior Bowl, I go hide.
Yeah.
Because I just let me watch practice. So we had different vantage points, but that was towards my side, to the left side, and no PI. Moss right there and making plays. I thought Riley Moss, another good day.
It wasn't so much the sociability for me, Cecil. I just wanted to be up a little bit. Because
Yeah, you were on the hill side. Yep.
I wanted the raised platform a little bit, even though the only negative of that was there was a little part of the field that I couldn't see, like from my perspective, the back right corner where I had to lean a little bit, and you'd sometimes kind of see me going like that. And so to make
that lean,
lean
back.
Another thing I loved about Riley Moss today was his run support. Like for as
Run
much,
fits.
as much. It's funny. What I want to talk about with Riley Moss was how aggressive he was against the run and how physical he was like that. And it's interesting because when I asked him what he focused on, that's sort of been my standard question for guys that we didn't talk with in the off season is what did you get from last year from studying the film and what did you focus on? And for Riley, it was getting more physical, getting stronger, adding some weight. And he talked about how the purpose of that was to hold up against bigger and stronger receivers, kind of like T. Higgins, for example. But another benefit of that is you're stronger in run support as well. And I thought that was pretty evident too, in terms of being able to get there. You may the run fits, being able to get there and bring guys down as well. So his anticipation is better, but his physicality is better against the run as well. So frankly, to me, that was what jumped out for me on Riley Moss was what he is against the run. So now you have corners on both sides who play the run well. So you throw that on. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and we're not worried about the Bo Nix pick, especially when who caught it.
I mean, it's Pat.
Yeah, I know. And you could just tell it's, you're going to make you pay. You make that kind of throw, and we're not losing our mind. We want Bo to learn.
It was kind of in between 2 guys. I mean, when we're sitting there where it's like, who was that for? Was it for Pat Bryant or was it for Cortland Sutton? Well, it was kind of in between both. We couldn't really tell.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of good days, I felt that Pat Bryant himself had another strong day with his route running. His battles against Pat have been pretty epic, whether it's one-on-ones or if it happens to be in a team period. Like, he is not afraid. He is not afraid at all to go up there, get the ball, attack the best corner in the league. And it's cool to see from a rookie. A lot of rookies, you'll see some intimidation factor, or they'll be a little nervous, or they'll try to do too much. Bryant does what he does. He runs really good routes. He's got insane body control.
Yeah, he had a good day. I thought Devon Vele had his best day of camp too.
Yes.
Yeah. This is really getting fascinating there at wide receiver. Effectively wide receiver 3, because I think it's pretty clear it's Court's got his role and Marvin Mims Jr. has his role. This game is afoot among Pat Bryant, Devon Vele, and Troy Franklin. I do think Franklin, even though he had by and large a good day, he probably did lose a little chance to really put a stamp on it when he dropped that pass at the end and moved the ball. Mm-hmm. Like that was one where that was a moment he really could have gotten some huge momentum. He could have gotten a nitro boost there, and it just was off his hands. So, I mean, the fact that he got open as he did said a lot, but it was a missed opportunity for Troy Franklin there, no doubt about that.
For sure. As we move further through the day, and again, this is third team. Second team, Jarrett Stidham was under maybe not as much as duress, but do not think for a second that the backup defensive line is any sort of like concern. Those guys were making Jarrett Stidham very uncomfortable today.
Well, they made him uncomfortable. I think the difference there is like, whereas what we saw from the first team, it was very much more of an inside out rush. What we saw more from the second team, the primary thrust, it was outside in. Dondrea Tillman and Jonah Ellis were just monsters today.
Wow.
Jonah Ellis, since the pads went on, has exploded. He had 2 sacks today.
He doesn't even know how good he's going to be.
Yeah. Tillman was basically parked in the backfield most of the day. I thought this was Tillman's best day against the run too. Like if there was one area you kind of wanted him to kind of improve, he's got a lot of quickness off the edge, and he's even quicker now. Again, he talked about another guy who we talked about, some guys getting bigger, Jaleel McLaughlin, Riley Moss. Dondrea Tillman told me the opposite. He wanted to get quicker. He lost some weight. And certainly he's lightning off the edge right now. But he was actually watching him kind of move inside, stuff the run a few times. He had a great day there as well. But the comp I made today on Tillman and Ellis, it's a little bit like Shaq Barrett and Shane Ray rotating in behind DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller 10 years ago. As in, you've got 2 guys that can be fresh legs coming off the bench that, okay, they're not quite as good as the starting tandem, but because those legs are fresh, they can be effective, and you don't really have much of a drop-off with them coming in. So Sean Payton talks about how he wants to kind of watch the rep count on some guys. Well, with Dondrea and Jonah potentially being so effective, he can really save Nik Bonitto and Jonathan Cooper a little bit and keep those guys fresh, because that tandem behind them, you're not sacrificing much by putting them out there. So you can have potentially I think you may end up seeing about a 65-35 snap split between the top 2 and the second 2. Maybe even 60-40 in some games. That's how good they are right now. They're worthy of the reps. They're playing like it. They were too much to handle for the backup tackles. And remember, one of those backups tackles is Alex Palczewski, and he's really good.
He's damn good.
He's damn good. But Tillman was taking his measure today.
Well, and even though Frank Crum is still raw, and he is, I'm giving Crum another year.
Yeah.
But that's an incredible athlete who's incredibly strong, and he was getting work today.
Yeah. Jonah Ellis was just, man. I got to find the soundbite, but I mean, that little aside that George Payton just kind of threw out there that, hey, maybe Jonah takes the leap that Nik Bonitto did. It's happening with Jonah right now.
Yeah.
Before our eyes every day. You can see it.
Just keep him healthy.
Yeah. But he has been like this week it's happened. We obviously didn't see it in minicamp and OTAs because he was recovering from the injury that he had
right,
against Buffalo. But the moment the pads went on, it was like you just lit the match on Jonah Ellis. I mean, he's almost, if you were giving out MVPs for this week at practice, I'm not saying he'd get the defensive MVP, but he'd be in the conversation. That's how good he's been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's had an incredible week.
Absolutely incredible week. One of my final observations, Mase, is full disclosure, my tummy's rumbling.
You got a rumbly in your tumbly,
as rumbling in my tumbly
would say?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I might eat some honey a little later. Audric Estime got second team work.
Yeah, he was good today.
He looked good.
Ooh,
Jaleel got third team work, and it's nothing. Jaleel's making the team. There's 0. But Jaleel looked good. Again, third team. He should. And it was the third team when they didn't have bad snaps. Gage, what's up, Gage? He's highlighting that in the chat room of like, third team had some bad snaps. When they didn't, Jaleel would break off a big play.
Yeah.
So they were able to do some work on that third team. But Estime, the opportunities that Sean Payton said he would get, he is getting.
Yes.
And knock on wood, he's not dropping the ball.
Yeah. It seems like they want Estime to figure it out. Now, they did give Tyler Bidet a few reps with the ones as well today. I mean, they're mixing it up at running back because Jaleel, like you see him getting third team reps, and then you see, here he comes in for a package with the first team. Jaleel's kind of all over the place, like in terms of how they use him, like which unit he's on and all. But I'm glad you mentioned that he's getting the opportunities, because it was something that Sean Payton did say way back in May. I think it was the first OTA when I asked Sean Payton about Audric Estime. And he said those opportunities were going to come, and he wasn't kidding. They have come. They are coming. The thing that I keep noticing on Audric Estime, the thing that has improved the most on him is the cutback. It's a decisive cutback. It's sharp. He is not fooling around. Cuts, attacks. And his vision is usually something that's natural. His vision on the cutback has improved as well. It's come a long way.
Trusting his eyes.
Yeah. It's been an impressive week for Audric. No doubt.
Yep.
So
a lot of questions before this week, before the pads came on. Tons of questions. He's answering those.
Yeah. The reserve running back competition, it's looking pretty spicy because they've all had their moments. Now, so to this point, Bidet has probably had the fewest flashes of the running. But
he's always steady.
He's steady, but Estime, and I'm taking Jaleel out of this because, like I say, he's kind of in a box unto himself.
Yeah.
But Estime and Watson have definitely had the most flashes this week. I'd say probably Estime a few more than Watson, but Blake has had a bunch of them as well, and he had some more today too.
Yeah, today, third team.
Yeah.
And Blake's flashes are a little bit different because they're receiving. But when he gets to top speed, I want to talk to you about this. So this is cool. There was a play today, again, third team, but he gets the ball and he's gone.
Yes.
Like we had documented his 10-yard splits last year. There's a reason why I get excited about Blake Watson. We don't get excited about everybody, but we get excited about Blake Watson because his 10-yard split is like, bam. He gets that ball and it's to and through the hole. And then he's at second level and you're crapping your pants if you're a defender because he's there in a heartbeat.
But he's got to get that crease. And the thing is, if he doesn't get that crease, he can't really force his way through.
Right.
Whereas Audric Estime, because of the way he's built, if he doesn't get that crease, he can still burrow his way for like 3 or 4 yards and he can still bounce. Whereas for Blake Watson, if he doesn't get that crease, the play is just DOA. Whereas with Estime and Harvey, certainly he can bounce. Like Blake Watson, if it's not there, he can't really kind of turn it into something. It's just that's it. That's the only.
Speed's a little more linear.
That's the only thing. Like that's a great way of putting it. It's like straight line, whereas everybody else has the ability to kind of, if it's Estime, he can burrow. Harvey can burrow and cut. There's a reason why RJ Harvey is, at least among the younger running backs, he's at the top of that food chain because he's got the most clubs in his back.
Mase, everyone talking about my shirt. You got a shirt as well from Dave, our good friend Dave at Rockboro Liquors, who gave us these shirts.
I know.
The Bo Leave shirt, man. Like, people love it.
Yeah,
they absolutely love it. So, yeah. And
do you believe
we're going to be a problem?
Yes.
So a little custom-made shirts from some of our best and brightest fans out there. We certainly appreciate Dave. He's so happy, man. He's so happy about these Broncos. So happy about Bo Nix. So, Dave, thank you.
Such excitement in Broncos country, man.
It was a great surprise for Mase this morning. So
it's cool, really cool to see that.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys out there. Gage giving me the holler because I'm standing over there with me and Leggy, and Gage like Cecil. So like just the love, man. Yeah. The love. We feel it. We feel it from you, Broncos country. So thank you guys for that.
Yeah. Appreciate you all for watching. Appreciate you following us, all of that. Watching us here, watching us elsewhere, wherever you find us. Thank you.
And to help us out on YouTube, what can they do, Mase?
Like,
comment,
share,
subscribe,
hit that notification bell
so that you
never miss
a vid. That's right. He's Andrew Mason. You follow him on all the socials at Mase Denver. I'm at Cecil Lammy saying OBT's a BFD. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. And would you please stay frosty?